Very warm welcome to you, Mr. Agbaje. I do want to start with looking at the administration in the past year. What for you has been the most outstanding thing that the president has done? And it could be positive or negative, but what has stood out the most for you?
Well, the area in which I think the most progress has been made has been in terms of agricultural policy. The administration has got a fairly strong minister in that sector. There's been a lot of policy innovation. There's a new energy around the agricultural sector in Nigeria. But of course, agriculture is not a short-term business, and so the impact may not be there for another few years.
When you look at that sector, you know, with all those policies coming into place, are you seeing some action coming through?
Yes, quite frankly, yeah, that's the area in which you could say, yeah, very good policy, very good initiatives, followed through with action in a short period of time. But like I said, you would have to wait a few years because of the nature of agriculture to feel the maximum impact. But clearly there's been some advance in that sector. That's not what we can say for a few other critical sectors.
I want to talk about...
We know about...
Power. I want to talk about power. I want to talk about the power
and
the energy sector and what's happening in that space, because there was talk about reform. Are you seeing that, you know, that reform coming through?
Yes, that is one in which, different from agriculture I just spoke, there's a very sound policy framework, the power sector roadmap that the president announced, but it hasn't been followed through with action. The milestones in that roadmap have been missed. The initial deadline for completing the privatizations was last year. It's been missed, it's been extended several times, and now we're told the privatization of the power companies won't be finished until October 2012. So that's one in which action has fallen short of policy, and unfortunately, it's probably the most important sector in which the Goodluck administration could have made some short-term impact.
I want to talk a little bit about the oil and gas sector and some of the reform that could be taking place there. For you, I mean, this is a very important sector for Nigeria's economy. For you, what do you think is key in terms of what you've seen about the proposed bill? What do you think is most important for the government to push through?
Well, the fact that the petroleum industry bill is outstanding is a very significant downside to the Jonathan administration. The fact that it hasn't even been represented to Parliament a year after the president came into office makes it something of a tragedy. We would like, of course, to see a petroleum industry bill that allows for investments through the value chain, that allows for perhaps an independent NMPC with broken down into a commercial arm in which regulatory activities of the state oil company is taken away, in which we have independent professional regulators, and the NMPC becomes a commercial oil company. And of course, we would like to see incentives for investments in gas, in the back, new fresh investments in the upstream, a very clear fiscal regime. All of these are outstanding, which is why new investments in Nigerian oil and gas haven't happened. I think that's probably one of the most, the biggest areas of disappointment with the Jonathan regime.